Good day, people of the YouTubes. This is Blood Bowl 2, which is a game that I have become obsessed with since my time in America. I've sunk 60 hours near enough into this game already, and I feel it is time that we begin something I did a while ago, which was the Blood Bowl LPS League with various people. And I'm going to do it again, because it was fun. I lost completely, and I'm not planning on doing it this time, even though I have probably picked the worst team in the bunch, for reasons that I will show in a moment. So anyway, this will be a round robin competition. Hopefully one video from each of the participants that can record and is able to record, meaning 5 videos effectively. The good thing about Blood Bowl 2 at the very least is that even if both players cannot actually record the match, I can still commentate on it because I can watch the replay and just do it like that. So we actually have that regarded. I will probably put a replay of every video on, maybe co-commentary with one of the other people in it. We shall see about that. Either way, with luck, matches will be beginning next weekend, which is the weekend of the 14th, I think. Might be wrong. This also assumes that I don't fall victim to the flu, which has affected everybody in my family since I've been back, and yeah, fun times, fun times. But, assuming all goes well, these 10 teams will do battle for Blood Bowl glory. The top 8 will go into effectively a seeded quarterfinal, then the winners of the seeded quarterfinals will just go into a 4-team final. Final knockout, and we will have our ultimate champion of the FC Super League, which clearly, as somebody has said to me recently, is the Fried Chicken Super League. And I really wish I'd come up with the fried chicken branding on a net team earlier. But anyway, let us quickly go over the teams and who is taking part. This is, eventually, my team. The Fried Chicken Registered Mutants. It is a glorious, glorious thing to see a Nergal team like this. Blessed by disease, just as I've managed to come back, and clearly my own fault. I'm just invoking Nergal's name and hoping it will lead me to glory. It's unlikely. Nergal is a very difficult team early on. We begin with a Hugbot. Basically, Hugbot, 4 Nergal warriors, 1 Pestigore. The gradual plan, and I've kind of tested this with another Nergal team I've been testing out against AI opponents, is to eventually get rid of my Rotters, who will die, they take double injuries, and replace them with Pestigores, who are significantly more competent and probably the only people I've got who I can really go into. Yeah, the game will interrupt me a lot in this. Apologies.
Yes, I saw your infamous after-dinner speech at last year's GBAT Awards. The following riot was really quite wonderful.
It was a wonderful riot. Anyway, as I was saying, the Rotters are really there to die. I do get extra Rotters if I kill anybody in-game, but that looks... Intuitively, that seems unlikely because even the deaths are quite uncommon in a normal game of Blood Bowl. Certainly, I've played games where there's been a few, but unless I get lucky, I'm not going to get extra Rotters this way. The reason this is a problem is my team, the Nergal team, does not have access to an apothecary whatsoever. And while the Pestigores and Nergal warriors and Beast of Nergals regenerate, these do not and take double wounds, so they will fall. And hopefully, from reduction in team value, addition of funds, I'll be able to just go and replace them eventually with Pestigores, who are going to have to be our ball carriers. They're going to have to be the people on the balls, and they're the people I need to get leveled as fast as possible. Because unlike Chaos, which I'll go to in a moment, my Nergal warriors cannot play the ball. They do have a lot of other advantages. The presence basically means that anything within free spaces of my Beast of Nergal or Nergal warriors has a reduction to ball skills, which is always nice. And if you try to attack any of the top 5, there's a 1 in 6 chance you won't be able to, because they're just that beautiful that you won't be able to do it. But, ultimately, the only thing our team really wants to do is give you hugs. Many, many hugs.
How's the missus, Bob?
Hug me. So that is my team, and we hope it will be glorious.
My family's sacred gut plate. Cow.
It probably won't be. If we move on to the first of the 3 Skaven teams in this division. We have Slimeboy's Gutterstride. And I don't think he's named these. We immediately boo and hiss him, but he does have the Rat Ogre, Storm Vermin, It's a fairly standard Skaven lineup. It's going to run rings around me. Unusually, he only has the one Gutter Runner. I say unusually because he's the person who usually went with 4 Gutter Runner teams. Still, having the Rat Ogre means he's got some presence up top. The Rat Ogre is quite mobile as well. Multiple rerolls, has the Apothecary already set up. I imagine the Skaven are looking good if they can survive. The best team, in my opinion, in Blood Bowl, though, is the Orcs. And the refined and proper-like Disaster Delanios Orcs are here, true gently Orcs, to crush and destroy everything. He has named these people, which is always nice. And that's exactly the team leader. Nice, clement, happy, do-gooder. The thing I like about Orc teams is you can make multiple different versions. Dylan has decided to go with the Troll, a couple of Goblins, so he can toss Goblins at people if he really wants to. And why wouldn't you? Only has the one Thrower, which is sometimes a bit of a dodgy thing on these teams. But I'm a big fan of the 4 Black Orc, 4 Blitzer strategies with this. I don't like going the Troll. I prefer to have multiple strong guys because it really causes problems. And the team did destroy a whole team of High Elves in one of my videos.
Deep beneath the blighted ziggurat,
Videos, matches.
Ruined. Many slaves died to create it. But then, it was the lowest bid.
It was. I might have to see if I can turn you off. But anyway, the team that I used Orcs to destroy, though, was this team. Somebody has decided to bring Poncy Elves into my league. Aegon. Our skulls and traditions endure. Not if I've got anything to say about it. Also, he's dressed them as Dark Elves. But he does have Mr. Kickoffski, Mr. Best Everoffski. He at least has named them appropriately. He's also, however, done the suboptimal thing of going 1 reroll, 1 Apothecary. Rerolls get more expensive after starting things, so normally you want to have 2 and try and survive the first round of Apothecary. He's decided that's a silly idea. He may regret that. Elves need a lot of rerolls to work, because they'll be rolling the most dice, and the more dice you roll, the more you will fail. Moving on, player 5 is Vicious Vanna with the Undead team. Velma Louise, Sweet Sue, Muffin, Sugar Lips, Big Mama. And I do like this team. I think I prefer the Necromantic team on balance because I like the fast werewolves. But the Undead team is stronger, more bashy. They have strength 5 people with no real drawbacks. He's playing 3 ghouls as well, which might be handy. Again, like the Nergal team, though, the ghouls have 0 apothecary protection. They can die, and they are quite pricey to replace. I think she can also get...
I'm looking forward to the next match. Time for
yeah, she can get additional zombies as well by killing people, which is sometimes a nice thing. If it happens, it's awesome. At least it's slightly helpful, I suppose. At least gives you some cover. Moving on, we have the second Skaven team, the Rat Bar Stewards by Kyril, or Kirill, or however he wants to be pronounced. And I won't. So the Rat Bar Stewards are Jumbo the Lethal, Kill Him the Quick, I think he's just given names after all this, and Stephen! Now he's gone with what I would consider the Gutter Run build. So 4 Gutter Runners, 2 Storm Vermins, and a Thrower. Arguably you don't need a Thrower if you're going with the 4 Gutter Runner strategy, but I get why it's there. It can be helpful, and also it's slightly cheaper. 4 Gutter Runners means he is able to just blitz the field. He also has a much easier time doing 1-turn touchdowns if he knows how. He has 3 rerolls, 1 Apothecary, which is... 3 rerolls is always what you want. And if you say you don't want 3 rerolls, oh boy, you want 3 rerolls eventually. The downside of this team, especially with the league set up as it is that I don't think it's going to have a lot of fun in terms of survivability. I imagine that with a lot of armor value 7 people with low strength in the majority of cases, he's going to be bashed to pieces. He might... I mean, Gutter Runners can dodge around anyway. 4 agility and dodge means they can escape anything pretty much if with rerolls, which he's got. So I imagine he'll win. It just might be the opponent might win in body count by quite a significant margin, which is what we want to see. Speaking of a team that's probably going to win the body count wars if it goes well, if it doesn't, it's not going to, but hey, we have the return.
Has a thriving black market. Players have to be careful though, as the highest prices are for limbs and other body parts. And the more obsessed collectors are not bothered about waiting for the target player to perish before harvesting them.
Indeed. So we have Marijin's Kill the Aegons Jolly Wibbliers returning to the fold. I really wish I had my Goblin team here, actually. My Goblins were rubbish, But the goblins have a rivalry with these Wibbliers. I think we played 3 matches in the past, and I think it went to quite an even round as the end. You wouldn't think Goblins versus Chaos was a match worthy of that, but we made it so. And I do love Goblins. Bring them into this game, darn it. So we look at the team roster here. He has gone the Minotaur 4 Chaos Warriors, which has been an expensive endeavour. Highly expensive endeavour. He only has 1 reroll. Does not have an Apothecary. Does have 3 cheerleaders for some bizarre reasons. He's obviously hoping to win Sheriff events, which can get him more rerolls. But I'd almost be inclined to save that money for an Apothecary rather than this, because if anything goes wrong, this is going to be fragile. Mind you, he's got high armor values, high strength. He is going to be the best bashy team out there, with the possible exception of the Profound and Proper Orcs. And if he goes well, it will go really, really well. That being said, ball-playing skills are not something he has, and obviously his warriors are unskilled, but unlike my Nergal warriors, these guys can play the ball if they have to, which is somewhat of an advantage when trying to level them. If they can go and score touchdowns. We then have Dyphon's Dogs. This is...
Gambling are a great company to be affiliated with.
They are.
Any problems you may have are surely coincidental.
Isn't that the company that you owe a great deal of bad gambling debts to?
That has
No.
nothing to do with my spontaneous endorsement.
So, Dyphon's Dogs. He has a human team here, which is quite novel actually, and actually probably a good idea. We know the related velocity of all types of swallows. I'm hoping he's gone... No, he has not continued that theme. Dyphon, shake fist at you. He does appear to have an extra person though, which is sometimes an advantage. 2 rerolls. He'll wish he had an Apothecary though. But having the extra person, I suppose, does somewhat mitigate that. 2 catchers, thrower, 4 blitzers. If you're going to play Blood Bowl like this, you need all the blitzers you can get for block skills. And an ogre. He should be fairly bashy. He should be fairly dodgy. And he may even be very good. But we shall see. I like the human team. We'll just have to see if it can survive whatever else is coming up here. We then have the initial D themes clearly running in the white tees. Or at the very least the Eurobeat things. And yes, indeed it is then. It is that. Eurobeat, if he's got that title on there. So the white tees. Skaven team dedicated to speed. And I don't see a Rat Ogre, so I imagine this is going to be a 4 Gutter Runner themed thing. Apparently not. So he's gone linesman, thrower. He's only gone 2 Gutter Runners and a thrower, which is the other way to do it. Possibly a bit more sensible. If it allows you to keep the high strength core of it.
I'm looking forward to these next few matches, Bob.
But again, he's got the 3 rerolls of the Apothecary. So I suppose he is set up and can now save towards a Rat Ogre. He also has an extra player. That might be why my count's slightly off, but if we're going 2 Gutter Runners for a couple of linesmen, possibly a good idea, actually. Is he going to be overall stronger than the other Skaven team that is using the 4 Gutter Runners? Might be a bit more flexible, but obviously lacks the muscle in the middle, or at least the threat in the middle, which does somewhat affect how the other players play against you if there's a big guy they've got to avoid. I mean, things like the Minotaur, the Troll, the Ogre can change how the opponent plays just by being there, even if they do nothing. And finally, we have Vault's Villains, Unstable Voltage, and the Necromantic team. I said I prefer these to the Undead team, and I completely stand by that. We have Bill Luke the Fairy, Harridan the Howler. He has 2 werewolves. I normally only go with 1 because I prefer to have a few extra dudes, but what's he actually got here? He's got 2 rerolls. I might be that when I built it, I might have my team, I might have cut a werewolf for something else. Possibly another white hat. Can you get a 3rd white? I'm actually struggling to see. Okay, I know what I did. Right, the reason I'm floundering a little bit is obviously I didn't go with 2 werewolves. I only went with 1 on my team that I built, but I might have gone with 3 rerolls to start with, which might be what's affecting here. Still 2 rerolls, a slight advantage to coach assistant and cheerleaders. Again, I didn't see much point in those, but if it comes off for you and gives you rerolls, then can't complain.
You know I have the attention span.
Their game plan.
Snotling. When are we going to get to see a game?
Oh, I've noticed what he doesn't have. That's what's thrown me. He has no ghouls. Having no ghouls in the this villain's team might be a mistake, but everything regenerates. Everything regenerates. And it's not as if the wights and the werewolves can't play the balls, it's just the ghouls have dodge, which means they can run away with the balls and have a fair amount of speed. He's going to be relying on his werewolves and wights to do all the running job, which they can do, in fairness. I normally score with my werewolf, but that's because I like my werewolf. So we will be starting this off next week. I might even start this competition now. Should I start the competition now? Apparently the transfer market is active. Let's close the market. Yes, apparently you can buy and sell players, but I have no idea how that works. Something to look at, I suppose. Okay, transfer market is closed. Okay, let's make sure. Aggregate score, no. I don't think we want a two-legged tie. We want a simple match here. We just want one. If we were playing with 6, I might have gone for a two-legged thing. Now I realise that can do that. So, the first opponents. Dyphons, dogs, will play Volts Villains. Running in the white tees will play the Jolly Wibbliers. Skaven versus Chaos. FC's Registered Mutants will play off against the Rat Bar-Stewards.
And I'll have your arms sawn off with a rusty blade.
The Ratmen face off against...
Warm, I said.
Yes, warm blood.
Is the blood in your veins cold?
Cold? No.
It isn't. Then why should my wine be any different?
So, going down there. God damn it, stop interrupting me. So we have Nergal versus Skaven. We have Skaven versus the Undead. That is going to be Slimeboy versus Vanna. And then we have at the bottom Aegon versus Dylan. High Elves versus Orcs. I went 11-0 in that matchup. I do not like Aegon's chances. So, the league has begun. To battle. As a quick aside as well, because I forgot to mention this during the main video, if you'd like to play random games against me outside of the random league, which is 10 players, and I know there's a few other people who I didn't get in as well. I had to remake the league from 8 to 10 players, and now I think somebody wants me to remake it to 12. It's going to stick with those 10 for the moment, because otherwise it's getting too unwieldy and schedules are going to be all over the place. However, if you wish to just play a random match against me, we have a league set up, the Random Matches and Stuff ladder. Which is owned by me. I control everything about this. There are a load of other people on the board as well who can also... Oh, apparently I am the only person in charge of the main league. Oh, that's the main one. There we go. Random Ladder of Battle, that's the one. But if you search Random Matches and Stuff, it'll allow you to get in, and then we can put you into this league, where we do have multiple people in this, and yeah, I'll give you a random battle anytime. Discord's link is in the description. They'll also probably be using that for the FC Super League, though, of course, we will sanction and cordon things off, however. So, I look forward to some random matches in the future. Until then.
To join